are now listening to Wrestle Report Australia.
You're here. I'm here. Let's do this!
What is up, everybody? That's right, you're here and we're here, so let's do this. It is Monday, February 26, 2018, and we are Mike and Lon. This is the first ever edition of Wrestle Report Australia. To get you familiar with who we are, the voice you are listening to right now is Mike. The voice you're about to hear is Lon. Hit him with it one time. Yo. And we're the newest team that's going to bring you all the news in the wrestling world and in the fight game. To give you a little idea of what this podcast is about, we will be doing weekly reviews of Raw and SmackDown, all reviews of the pay-per-views, including NXT, and we'll be touching on topics such as UFC and the independent scene here and there as well. We won't be reviewing everything that they do because it's not easy for us to watch them, but as much as we can, we will touch on. This is something that we've wanted to do for a very long time. We love the wrestling industry and we've always wanted to be part of it one way or another, and we thought that this podcast would be the best way to do it. It's not purely business. This is here also to entertain. It's something that we love to do, and that's just talk about wrestling, talk about fighting, and just have a good time. And me and my good friend here are about to give you our first ever review, and that is Elimination Chamber 2018. As a whole, I enjoyed this, and we kicked it off with the kickoff show, which saw the club, the Balor Club, go against the Miztourage. Decent match. Not set up the best. What did you think?
It was a good match. Gallows and Anderson showed what they can do.
Well, we know what they can do.
Yeah, but they were shining in this match.
They were. Which seemed to be the point, which is good. Strong points?
Gallows' performance was amazing. He had some real stiff kicks in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the finish with the Magic Killer win was good.
I liked how they kind of gave you a little trick too. They gave you the idea of the Miztourage winning. You know, they went for the Magic Killer the first time and it was interrupted, and you thought that the Miztourage was going to get a sneaky win, but the club pulled off the victory. And then the revival package.
Yes, that was random.
Yeah, to say the least.
And they got cut off.
Yeah. What's up with that? What up with that? We don't know. But it's interesting because the revival, since coming back, have had an interesting run, to say the least. But
had one match.
And then a lot of promos, just talking down on everyone else. So it's gonna be good to see what comes of that. But if you're gonna,
they're the real wrestlers that can't wrestle. Can't wrestle.
But if you're gonna try and hype them up, my suggestion is don't cut them off mid promo. And if you're gonna do that, don't really give them a promo. Because I can't get invested into something when I can't even hear the finish of their trail of thought. So I don't know what was up with the production there, or the monkeys in the truck might have pressed a button.
Cutting off seemed to be their shtick today.
Yeah, like when Renee Young went to interview Paul Heyman and we saw the rules for the Elimination Chamber. They
just cut him off.
Yeah, Renee didn't know what to do, and that shouldn't be happening in WWE. Come on, you're better than that. You have all the money in the world. Fix your kickoff shows. But that's alright. It was a decent match to get the crowd built up and ready. They were firmly behind Gallows and Anderson, and I'm sure that meant a lot to them because they've been put in some crappy situations lately. Just a product of bad booking. but to get a good crowd reception like that, it shows that they deserve more than a pre-show performance.
The match could easily just been on Raw.
Exactly. But I think that the club will find their way into title contention soon enough. Other than that, the kickoff show was basically just hyping Elimination Chamber. There was a little Ask Kurt segment that didn't really go anywhere. And it was basically just touching on the point that this is Raw's final stop on the road to WrestleMania, which is always...
Although, Kurt did give us information that Jason Jordan
will be back immediately following WrestleMania.
So...
Which is interesting, because if he's going to be back right after WrestleMania, why can't he be at Mania?
Not cleared.
True.
Just had his surgery.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how he comes back. The crowd is not on his side at all. Kurt's trying desperately to keep kayfabe alive, which...
But spoiled it at the start.
Yeah, but much respect to Kurt. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they get behind him when he comes back, or if he's just going to get the Roman treatment. But yeah, that was good that we got that piece of news.
I like that, the Roman treatment.
There could be a whole segment on this show dedicated to the Roman treatment. The big dog. Okay, so that about sums it up for the kickoff show. It was just hyping up the fact that it was Raw's final stop on the road to WrestleMania, which is always a fun time. WrestleMania season is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite time of the year, because you never know what's going to happen. So that's the kickoff show, and we lead straight into the start of the pay-per-view, which is the first ever female Elimination Chamber with Alexa Bliss
Defending her title.
Yes, defending her title as the underdog. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, representing Absolution, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and Bayley. There was a good hype package for this match to start off the pay-per-view. It got me invested in the match, even though I was already invested in the match. It's always good when the hype package gets you keen to watch what's coming on next. And I'm really a fan of how they have built this women's revolution to this point, with all these first time things that the women are doing, such as Hell in a Cell. To be specific, the Royal Rumble was absolutely phenomenal. That it's got people invested into what the women are doing, and to put them in such a structure like the Elimination Chamber is a big statement, because that was for so long billed the most deadliest match in WWE history. Dangerous structure of steel.
Same as the cage match in the Hell in a Cell.
Exactly. But still, to put them in there is a cool thing to see, and I was very glad to see that the crowd welcomed it. They wanted it. They weren't shitting on it like they used to. They weren't chanting stupid things at the women. They were actually invested in the match. First person to come out was Alexa Bliss, the champion, who we knew was coming in to the match last. So she had the advantage, but was still the underdog. Very interesting.
Big reaction.
Yes, very good reaction. She's been on a decent little swerve recently. Her gimmick is questionable on which way she is leaning, whether she's more face or more heel. But we got more of an insight to that later on. Sasha Banks, second person to come out, to another good reaction, who has also been on a little trajectory of maybe a switch in character. Mickey James comes out third, and the crowd are really behind Mickey James in this match. And she still looks great for her age. She's still coming in with a lot of energy, and I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon, to be honest. Absolution then come out together with Paige walking them to the ramp. That was cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that she's still, even though she's on the sidelines, she's still involved, and it gives those two women, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, a decent backing because it gives them a bit more legitimacy. And I liked how they came out together in semi-matching attire, made them look like a proper unit, which isn't something that you usually see with the women these days. And then Bayley to come out last and start the match with Sonya Deville. Now, the crowd was really behind Bayley. I'm not the biggest Bayley fan in the world. I believe her gimmick at the moment is stale, so I can't really get into much that Bayley does these days, but the crowd was still firmly behind her in this match, and you can see why. Her ring work isn't terrible. It's not bad, but her character is just overdone to me, and it needs to be changed. But the crowd love her, so it's okay. So Sonya and Bayley start off some good sequences between them.
Back and forth action.
It was good. I liked it.
Bayley hit a elbow off the top rope to Sonya. And she was on the outside.
Building a bit of anticipation for what was to come in the match. They didn't start it off too crazy. You know, they let it progress properly, which was good. And yeah, like you said, it was just a bit back and forth. And then the countdown begins, and naturally, Mandy Rose is the first to enter from the pods. And you think that they're going to get the upper hand, but Bayley stops the Absolution train and rallies a good offense. Crowd firmly behind her, as I said, giving her some chance, giving her some motivation, but the numbers game, too much. And then there was some cool spots. I liked how Absolution worked well as a team and incorporated the first proper use of the chamber by tying Bayley up and just kicking the shit out of her. That was cool.
Sasha out next. Which was a bit predictable, but paid off because it worked. Good sequence with Sasha and Absolution hitting some stiff shots. Sasha Banks hits Mandy Rose with the bank statement after Mandy's having a good little showing, and Mandy is the first person eliminated quite quickly. They didn't have her in the match for very long, which I think it could have been stretched out a little bit, give more of a build up to the first elimination. That to me seemed a bit rushed, but it was okay. It still worked. Mickey James comes in quickly after the first elimination, and she's full of energy. Takes out Bayley and Sasha Banks straight away, and does a very good spot. First, I believe she was the first woman to climb to the top of a pod. See, I don't know if Bayley was on the top rope or if she was on the pod when she done that elbow drop.
I think it was the top rope. I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure. She could have been at the top, but by my memory, I believe Mickey was the first, and it was a very good spot to dive off the top and take out Sonya Deville, get her eliminated. But straight away, Mickey is eliminated. After eliminating Sonya Deville, she gets up and is double teamed by Bayley and Sasha Banks, and yeah, that was it.
Bank statement and Bayley to belly.
Yes.
Finished it off.
It was all over. And the crowd chanting, "We want Mickey," as she left. So that proves that, you know, the crowd still wants some more Mickey James. But, yes.
Bliss out next.
Bliss, the last person to enter the match. And then here was a cool part. I liked this. How that image of Alexa Bliss holding on to the chamber in the middle, and how...
And had Bailey and Sasha on either side.
Yeah, that'll be the iconic image, one of, for the first ever female Elimination Chamber. So Alexa enters, and there's a moment where you think that she's going to get double teamed when they finally catch Alexa. And then Sasha does the inevitable turn. The turn on Bailey. It looked like she was going to help her up and they were going to double team Alexa Bliss, and then she kicks her clear off down to the ground. That was a cool little bump for Bailey to take. But then soon after, Bailey returns the favour. So there's the feud set up finally, and I hope that can lead to something better for Bailey, a bit more of an edge.
She needs to turn heel.
Yeah, she's got to get rid of them wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men, and just get some attitude, woman.
Al Harrington.
You've got to. She's a talent, but that I understand the PG market and wanting to get the kids involved, but to a certain extent, a character needs development, and she's been the same. It's about time we see a different side of Bailey. But yeah, Bailey's the next to go, which leaves it with Sasha and Bliss. The ending of this match, I was very impressed with. Good high spot to finish the match. Alexa Bliss goes for the Twisted Bliss off the top of the chamber pod. Sasha Banks counters it into a bank statement, but they're on the outside. So Sasha Banks rolls her through the ropes and then goes to get the submission in the ring, but Alexa Bliss survives. And then
Bliss cuts a promo after the match.
Yes.
After she wins.
Well, obviously she wins the match.
Yeah.
Yes, Alexa Bliss survives and retains the belt. And then, yes, she cuts a promo, seeming to be very sincere and emotional. She's crying after winning the first ever Elimination Chamber. And then she gets on the mic and starts telling everyone in the crowd to never give up on their dreams and to dream big, even though people tell them that it's impossible. And then she says, looking out at this crowd right now, I know that none of you will ever accomplish any of those dreams because you're not like me. Which obviously finally solidifies her still as a heel. After the weeks of, her helping out Mickie James and acting all nice, she's straight back to being a heel.
That's what she's best at.
I agree. I totally agree. But this writing situation
All over this shot.
It needs a bit of a fixeroo. But overall, good match. Very good match. What would Lan give this as a rating out of stars?
Out of 5, I'd have to go with a 3.
With a 3. Solid 3. Decent.
It was a good match for the first women's elimination chamber.
Nothing can beat the female Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Nothing can.
Like, there could have been a lot more in it, a lot more spots, but that saves it for the next elimination chamber.
Yeah, could be viewed as a test run to see how it was received, and to me it was received very well. The crowd was into it. They enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. So I look forward to seeing the next one. And the fact that that's happened and that many people feel the same way means that they did something right, which is good. On to the second match.
Backstage segment. Kurt walking into Rousey's locker room.
Oh, yes. Yes, to set up one of the weirdest segments that I have ever seen.
But we'll get into that.
Yes, we'll get to that later when it unfolded, because we are going through in chronological order. The second match.
Raw Tag Titles.
Yeah. This match, the bar. Yeah. They don't set the bar. They are the bar.
Versus Titus
Worldwide. K.E. Seriously, just I don't understand why this match even happened.
This is definitely just a Raw squash match. It should have been.
Not even the Titus Worldwide should not even be in the title picture. And just on a side note, I love how it's just Apollo now. He's not Cruz anymore. He's just Apollo. Like he's like Seal. He's got one name, McLovin. He's, and you've got Titus O'Neil, who to me is just another generic big guy. Fair enough, I've got to acknowledge the stuff he does outside of the ring it's inspirational. It is, and it's very commendable, and he's obviously a very good human being. But as a wrestler, it's just I don't like it. I don't like it. I didn't like the Primetime Players, and I don't like the second coming of the Primetime Players.
It's just Titus.
It's
Titus, the basketball player.
But yeah, anyway, the Bar versus Titus Worldwide. From the beginning, the crowd showed little to absolutely no interest in this match.
It wasn't even a video pack.
Yeah, there was no lead-in. Like, they made such a big deal out of it on Raw that Titus Worldwide finally were getting their shot. They're getting it. They couldn't even show that. Screw it. Let's just get into the match. And yeah, crowd don't care. They get to the ring. Then the Bar are the second to come out, obviously, because they're the champs. They enter second. And then, as soon as they get into the ring, a brawl breaks out. Match doesn't
The Bar
even
goes straight after Titus and Apollo.
Yeah, there's no bell for a bit. There's a bit of action. I believe there was a little spot outside too before they got back into the ring and actually started off the match.
Just wasn't invested.
Yeah, I couldn't get invested into this match, but basically the majority of the time it was just the Bar in control. Apollo was the legal man, and they just kept cutting him off so he couldn't make the tag to Titus. And then multiple tags were made between the Bar. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of this match because we don't really need to talk about it much. Multiple tags between the Bar, still cutting off Apollo. He's that underdog. McLovin needs to make that tag. But he just can't quite get there. But finally, Apollo makes the tag to Titus. He enters for the first time in the match, pretty late into it. Goes on a bit of an offensive streak. Crowd still doesn't care. Sheamus, this is the most entertaining part of the match. Sheamus went to run up the ropes to the top turnbuckle and he botched. And he wasn't an entire botch though. He just slipped and missed the rope. But he acknowledged it to the crowd and they were laughing at him and he was like, no, not today. That was the most entertaining part of the match.
Hit their double team, whatever that move was.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. But they won. Titus worldwide is no more. That match, I think we know what your rating is. Hit him with it one time.
A 2. I'll give it a 2. Should have been on Raw. Should have been on Raw.
Alright. So,
Backstage,
what was the backstage segment there?
Asuka's mask was shown.
Yes! Yes, I like that. This is the build up to the Nia Jax versus Asuka match. If Nia Jax won this match, she would get added to the women's title match at WrestleMania, and it would become a triple threat to begin the match. Yes. What happened, Lon? Tell us.
The Asuka mask was shown there, close up on the, appears to be just the floor.
The crowd popped for it too. They gave it a good reception. They thought something was going to happen with Asuka.
And then the camera pans out, shows Nia Jax stomping on the mask, and then she makes her way to the ring. Yeah, and Nia comes out first, gets a good reaction,
Good reaction, yes.
and then Asuka comes out, nice
Well, to
reception.
To her regular ovation. But then, there's some good spots to begin the match. Nia looks strong
Yeah,
throughout this entire match, and I wasn't disappointed in this match until the ending. But the crowd was split 50-50. Some of them wanted Nia, some of them wanted Asuka, which is interesting because up until recently it's all been Asuka.
because nobody is ready for Asuka.
And it was cool to actually see her being cheered against, finally. And it's good to see Nia Jax finally getting decent recognition from the crowd, because she is a legit beast. And she looked very strong in this match. Everything Asuka did, it was just power moves and counters from Nia Jax, just making it look effortless and easy. But
Well, Asuka goes for a little rear view that she does, and Nia's on the outside of the ring, on the ropes, and Asuka goes for that rear view, and Nia steps to the side and catches her.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I liked that. And it shows that even though her moves are mostly power based, that showed some good reaction time from Nia Jax to be able to make that look as smooth as it did.
yeah.
I liked that. Yes, Asuka still does gain a bit of offense here and there in the match, but gets a close 2 count. She did get a near fall on Nia Jax, but Nia Jax regains control throughout the entire match.
Crowd split.
Yeah, still that was split throughout the whole match, which was good. Then the ending, after Nia Jax has looked so strong the entire match, Asuka's laying center of the ring. Nia Jax appears to go for some sort of senton, and Asuka goes to get out of the way but doesn't quite do it in time, and there's what appears to be a bit of a botch where Nia Jax just comes crashing down on Asuka's legs, and then there's a little sequence. Nia goes for more offense, and then when it looks like Nia Jax is going to close out for the victory, she's got Asuka in the electric chair position, and then there's a sloppy roll up by Asuka and a questionable 3 count for the victory.
She definitely kicked out.
She kicked out of that. I think that ref needs to have a look at the instant replay and reverse his decision. But a very sloppy end to what was a very decent match for Nia Jax.
If it was SmackDown, the decision would be reversed.
if it was SmackDown, Shane McMahon would become the special guest referee. Daniel Bryan would have something to say about it, and then he'd become the special guest referee.
Yeah, and then Owens and Zayn are added to the match.
The Yep movement would come in. Yep. But yeah, I was very behind that match. Nia Jax looked really strong, and then Asuka basically did nothing and got a sloppy victory, which I wasn't a fan of. I didn't like that. I think that the match should have ended in a more intense fashion, because now there was such hype about it of Nia Jax potentially going to WrestleMania, and then after looking so strong for the match, it was ended in such terrible fashion. But
It's his dad's.
it's not his dad's. But what it is a vicious post-match beatdown of Asuka. No one's ready for Asuka. But Asuka was not ready for that ass whooping that Nia Jax put on her at the end. Straight shoulder barged her through the barricade. And that was just vicious. But what happens next? What was the point of that?
She just left.
She just bailed.
Just bails. Oh, she was cut though. She didn't get her WrestleMania moment, I guess so.
I don't know what's going on. That match ended too strangely. I have a sneaking suspicion that something went wrong in that match, and it needed to be shut down quick. And the beatdown after it may have been to save face, who knows? Or maybe it just could have been absolutely terrible booking, because we all know that is possible.
But it looked pretty good though.
It did. The beatdown I really liked, and after that, so it was a decent match. What would you rate it? Lion Stars.
Probably 2, because it needed to go longer, and
Quite.
I'm sick of not seeing Nia Jax be in the ring. It's like she always gets cut off short, or she just doesn't have the time to shine. Asuka's always just gonna be Asuka. She always puts on. To me, she always puts on good matches.
Yeah.
It's just up to the opponent that she's with to strike back with her.
And sell it properly.
That's it.
That's exactly right. So yeah, decent match. 2 stars for Lan. I don't really do stars unless I am completely into the match, which I will give a star to the next match. But before I get to the next match, after the beatdown of Nia Jax,
we're gonna have a quick break.
After this piece of information,
What's this information?
the backstage segment
Oh yes.
following the Nia Jax beatdown, Alexa Bliss is watching it as it unfolds, and she seems very pleased. I believe it was Renee Young, the beautiful Renee Young, going in and asking how she felt about it, and she says that.
She started talking. The audio just cuts.
Oh yeah,
It's real soft.
Well, the mics, they didn't have their mics turned up. Come on, WWE, fix your production. But yes, Renee starts asking the question, which we didn't even hear the start of, but we got the answer. She asked her thoughts. Alexa said obviously she was disappointed that her friend Nia Jax lost the match, but that she clearly was not disappointed with what Nia Jax just did to Asuka. And then she proceeded to say that Asuka likes to say that nobody's ready for her. Well, nobody is ready for Alexa. Which was pretty cool. Good little stab at her gimmick. But yes, we are going to take a quick break with that information. But don't worry. We'll be right back with some more Wrestle Report Australia. Whoop, whoop. Have you ever felt like there's something missing in your life? Yes! Have you ever felt like you wanted something in your life? Yes! Is that thing the greatest wrestling and fight podcast of all time? Yes! Well, guess what? What? Now you've got it! Got it! Wrestle Report Australia, the only place to come to get these pods. Hit the like, subscribe button now.
You're now listening to Wrestle Report Australia.
You're here. I'm here. Let's do this.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Wrestle Report Australia. I am Mike. This is Lon.
Yo.
And we are in the middle of our review of Elimination Chamber 2018. We left off at the end of Nia Jax and Asuka. And now we cut straight to a backstage segment with Roman Reigns and Charles.
Charlie. Trying to act bad in that.
As soon as Roman comes onto the screen, he gets the natural Roman treatment. Just booed. It's laughable. It's just it's not even like funny anymore. As soon as you see him, the crowd makes it known that they do not want him in that spot. But he's just there talking about how he's gonna be the best or whatever. He's the big dog. The big dog!
The usual fucking Superman shit.
Yep. Just
Big dog.
Just on a side note though, I'm not a Roman Reigns hater.
I am.
He is. I'm not. I believe he's got talent. I believe he's got potential to be something. But he is Cena 2.0 fucking shoved down our throats left, right and centre. And we're over it. Like, take him off TV. Give him a break. Let the crowd hate on someone else. Find someone else to hate while he's not there.
Give him time to be missed.
Yeah, give him time to be missed. And then the crowd will appreciate him for what he can do. Because go back to the Shield days and he was loved. And then as soon as they fucked him over at the Rumble and made Batista win instead of him, it was just obvious that he was going to win from then on. And that they were going to build him as the megastar. And it needs to happen naturally. It can't be forced, otherwise us as the viewers will not buy into it. But that's for another time. Getting off topic, he's just hyping himself for the Elimination Chamber. And then we lead into probably my favourite part of the night.
The Woken one, yeah.
Yeah. Woken Matt Hardy. The first official pay-per-view match, I believe.
Oh, he was in the Rumble.
Alright, I'll rephrase. The first single pay-per-view match for Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. And we finally saw the first ever video package for the Woken gimmick. And they couldn't have picked anyone better to do the intro to this gimmick other than Bray Wyatt. It's the match that while Matt was in TNA doing the Broken gimmick, everyone wanted to see what would happen if the Broken Hardys came up against the Wyatt family. And to WWE's credit, they made it happen. And this hype video was set out wonderfully. Light versus darkness. They had the morphing of the faces, the snippets of the strange promos that they've had over the last couple of weeks. I will mention the fact that I noticed, I don't know if it was a slip up or if it was intentional, Michael Cole referred to Matt Hardy as broken instead of woken.
Yeah, before the package.
To lead into the video package, which I thought that was a bit interesting. But the video package was very entertaining, and it set up the match very well. As did the two competitors on their own. Anyway, Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy, is the first to enter to what I believe, in my opinion, was a shitty reception. And I don't understand how, for week after week, that the Woken character isn't getting the ovation that he deserves.
All the support.
All the support. Because people wanted it. They wanted it. For so long. They were crying for it on the internet. All the trolls. They wanted this gimmick so bad. And now they've got it. And they couldn't give a shit. In our opinion, I know this is both of our opinions, he's got one of the best themes in WWE today. He's got a great Titantron effect with the glass shutter and all the deletes in the black and white. He's got
His actions when he comes out.
He's limping.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
That I believe that is part of his character. Like, I don't think he's hurt. He's playing into the character. You forget, man. He is dined, as they said, with Frank Sinatra and Samuel Davis. He is played with Napoleon. He probably stood for Leonardo da Vinci and was made into a masterpiece in a different realm. We don't know what Woken Matt Hardy has done in the time he has been on this universe part of this. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. What was I even saying? Oh yes, his entrance. It just boggles me. They wanted it for so long, and now ever since it's happened, he hasn't really gotten a decent reception other than the Royal Rumble. Because shout out to Philly, because that's a good city. That's one of my favorite wrestling cities.
His Royal Rumble reception wasn't even that good either.
Yeah, see? What's up? What's up, people? Get behind your boy, Woken.
It's like they done all the chants and all the supporting when he wasn't woken. And now that he is woken, you don't want none of.
What is going on? But yes, even though it was a shit initial reception, the delete chants were strong once he was in the ring, and yeah, so they were behind him. I want the pop, guys. I want the reaction when that music hits. When you hear Matt Hardy's voice echo over them speakers, I want to hear y'all scream, because you've been screaming for it before. So enjoy it. Otherwise, they'll take it away, and Matt Hardy's career will most likely fail, because that's the most creative thing he has ever done. It's interesting, it's entertaining, it's different, and we need more of that on television. But anyway, he enters. And then the cutscene happens for Bray. Lights go out. But instead of making his usual entrance, the lights come back on. And it's Bray Wyatt standing in the middle of the ring with nothing but Matt Hardy's coat. Matt has seemed to have vanished somewhere.
He's gone.
He's gone. And then all of a sudden, you just hear over the speakers, yes, Bray Wyatt, you'll fade away, classify yourself as obsolete. Obsolete! And Bray looks confused. Bray doesn't know what's going on, and I thought this was very cool, very interesting. We haven't seen this part of the Woken character. This is the stuff that made him intriguing in TNA, and when he was doing the indie tours, he did this out-of-the-box stuff, and it's cool to finally see WWE capitalize on that. And I was intrigued straight away. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Bray Wyatt continues to search while Matt is talking over the speaker system.
Bray runs around outside looking everywhere until he finally searches under the ring. No Matt Hardy. He comes back up and Matt Hardy is standing on the ring steps. And it jumps off and he attacks him. Sends him back into the ring and the match officially begins. Now, I'm already intrigued at this point. I was intrigued from the video package. And then the way that the match started, I didn't expect that. So I was like, holy shit. Here we go. This is different. And then not even 2 minutes after the bell rings, the best part for me of this entire pay-per-view happens. They do a little spot in the corner. Matt sidesteps Bray and Bray is left in the corner and he does his trademark turnbuckle demon taunt where he bends backwards, and Matt Hardy's reaction is absolutely priceless. It immediately captures what we all know about the woken/broken gimmick, and it shows how entertaining he can be. Because without missing a beat, he just looks at Bray Wyatt, does his wonderful shtick, and just starts clapping and telling him how impressive it was, and commands the crowd to give him a standing ovation and compliments his flexibility. What the fuck? I was seriously in stitches at this point. The match had been official for 2 minutes and I'm already hooked. But it took a turn, and it turned out to really frustrate me by the end of the match. And I know you know what I'm talking about. Bray Wyatt begins to gain a bit of control.
Must have been a friggin' beach ball out there.
Yes, because
the crowd's not paying attention.
The crowd got distracted, and to Bray's credit, he was smart. This is why I do like Bray. I know you like Bray Wyatt's work. He was aware that the crowd were distracted, and he limited the offense in the match. He basically just kept Matt on the ground in a headlock while the crowd were distracted, and waited until he could get their attention. But in all honesty, they kind of remained distracted, and he just said, fuck it, let's just go on with the match. The action went outside, and to Bray's credit again, he got...
How's the mixed reaction for the beach ball?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, the crowd, like we stated before...
Let's go beach ball!
Beach balls suck!
Let's go beach ball!
Beach balls suck! And I firmly am behind the second chant. Thank you very much. I understand that the crowd want to have fun and this and that, but come on, respect the people that are in that ring.
You got friggin' woken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, and that goes back to the point before. You all wanted it, and now you aren't paying attention. And it's happening. It's not just with the Matt Hardy gimmick. It happens all the time.
And you can't expect everything that he done in TNA to be done in WWE so quick.
Exactly. There's a build-up. They make us want it. But you guys have wanted it, and you got bored. You got impatient, and then you're just like, oh, nah, screw it. I'm just going to go back to booing Roman Reigns. I don't need to worry about Matt. Is boring, as I'm over it. But you're not over it, because wait, something that you've missed is going to happen, and then you're going to be like, oh yeah, I love Matt Hardy. But you were the same guy that's sitting in that crowd not giving a shit about this match. And if you ain't respecting the people in the ring, sooner or later, they ain't going to be in that ring. And you're going to wonder where the fuck they went. And they left the company because people like you did not show them the respect that they deserve. And I just want to put it on the record
We here in Australia would show y'all plenty of respect if you'd give us a goddamn pay-per-view, guys. Come on. Send a big show to our shores and you'll get the best crowd you've ever had. UFC, just on a side note, just came here and said that the Perth crowd is one of the best crowds they've ever had. I had the privilege of being in that crowd, and the energy in that building was absolutely amazing.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. I can only imagine what it would be like if we had Woken Matt Hardy here. We'd be indubitably excited. It would be excessively succulent, and we would love it.
I'll still probably give him a better reception than he's got lately.
I would agree. But I digress. The crowd, fully distracted, even began a Rusev Day chant in the middle of this match. But they were still focusing on the match because they knew when Matt was doing his delete shtick and this and that. But then they go back to doing some dumbass shit.
Yeah, they'll do him the Mexican wave.
Yeah, they would do, yes. The Mexican...
But Matt played it off like he was guiding them.
Yeah.
Like pointing as it's going
Smart
around.
worker. See, two smart workers.
And which got him on his side for the delete chant.
Yes, exactly. And then it, they look like Bray... sorry. I do want to comment on the commentary. Because when the Rusev Day chant began, Coach, who I am so glad is back. Coach just makes me think that I'm back as a teenager watching like I used to. It gives that nostalgia effect, and the team of Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Jonathan Coachman, thumbs up, guys. He's doing a bang up job. He, to his credit, as soon as the crowd started chanting Rusev Day, he tried to cover it up by saying it's like the crowd is playing into how crazy the two individuals in the ring are. I mean, no. But points for effort, Coach. Keep kayfabe alive. But yeah, it appears that Bray Wyatt has the upper hand by the end of the match.
Goes for Sister Abigail.
It goes for the finish, and Matt Hardy counters it
Twist of fate.
into the twist of fate, gets the pinfall, 3, and it is over. And that is the first big win for Woken Matt. I can only imagine that this feud will continue until WrestleMania. As a whole, what did you think of this match? What would the Lawn Stars be for Woken Matt versus Bray Wyatt?
The Lone Stars would be a 3. I would have gave it a 4, but the crowd just tones down the match when they're not paying attention.
Yep. I feel exactly the same way. I was very entertained by the match itself, but I found myself pissed off by the end because the crowd just ruined it for me. But to their credit, when Matt won, he got a great reception. They popped, they cheered, they deleted, and it was wonderful. Like I was saying, I can only imagine that this feud will continue and culminate at WrestleMania. And I'm hoping that Matt Hardy comes out on top because he needs to... This is his first initial feud as the Woken gimmick, and he needs to come out on top if they are going to make it believable and to keep him strong. But we'll see what happens.
There's still more to come anyway.
Yeah.
Brother Nero's got to come back.
Ooh, will he come back as Brother Nero, or will he come back as the vessel known as Jeffrey Hardy?
We'll see him come back as Jeff and eventually get persuaded to the Woken Broken side.
The Woken Broken side, I like that. Okay. The next segment of this show is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Because I loved it. Because I'm gonna go on the record, and this is just my opinion. I know there's many people that love her and whatnot, but I do not like Ronda Rousey. I don't really. I mean, I get it. I get that she was a pioneer in female mixed martial arts. They hype her up as the baddest woman on the planet. That, in my opinion, is false. Chris Cyborg is the baddest woman on the planet. Why you duck her, Ronda? Ho.
Missed with a rowdy there.
Yeah. But that's a fight that the world was waiting to see. Ronda Rousey versus Chris Cyborg. It never happened. That's a shame. But, yes. First time we saw Ronda Rousey was at the Royal Rumble. Well, actually, the first time we saw Ronda Rousey was at WrestleMania 31. Was it not?
3 years ago.
Was it 31? I believe it was.
Yes.
Where her and The Rock had that little segment with Triple H and Stephanie. She made Triple H look like a child, gave him his little hip toss, and had a little altercation with Steph, and that was it. But next time we saw her, she came out at the end of the Royal Rumble and stole everybody's shine, because that's what stars do.
Yeah, that's what stars do, apparently.
Apparently, she's better than everyone. That moment was Asuka's, and I don't give a shit what anyone has to say. That was poor booking, in my opinion, and then it was hyped for, I believe, 2 weeks prior to Elimination Chamber that she would be here to sign the contract for Raw. So it was just big hype about Ronda Rousey. And when she, quotation, debuted at the Royal Rumble, she got a very good reception. Very good reception, because it was Philly, as we were talking about, one of the greatest wrestling crowds there is, along with Chicago and places of that nature. They were so hyped to see Ronda Rousey come out, got the best cheers, and she was thinking, yes, they love me. They love me, they wanted me here. But tonight, we were in Vegas, and this is a UFC town. And they know that Ronda's last 2 outings kind of proved that she wasn't as bad as everyone thought she was. And I think that she was coming out to think everything was good, but little did she know, it was not. But it starts off with Kurt's music. The segment begins.
Biggest pop of the night.
Yeah, hands down. Biggest pop. And that's cool. He's not even on the active roster. He botches half of his stuff on the microphone, and he still gets the biggest pops. Love it. Absolutely love it.
That's respect.
Yeah, he's a legend. Absolute legend. You can't fault him for bumbling on the mic. Everyone does it. We'll do it here on the podcast. But hey, he gets the biggest pops, and that's because he's fucking Kurt Angle.
Wrestling machine.
The wrestling machine. So yeah, he gets a big pop, and then I didn't actually know that this was happening. Triple H's music hits. Well, King of Kings music hits. So the Authority and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H come out to a decent reaction. It wasn't a massive pop, but it was a good reaction. But then once they were in the ring, the Triple H chants were strong. Stephanie goes to talk and just gets booed. Triple H quickly takes over and talks about gaining all the great talent in the world
and bringing them to WWE, and he drops a sneaky Elite reference, saying that they get the Elite and bring them to WWE. Obviously referencing the Elite, aka the Bullet Club, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega. And as soon as he said that, you heard the Elite, the Elite, the Elite, the Elite, just ringing through the crowd, which I always love to hear Bullet Club chants at WWE events. I'm hoping that one day it breaks down that barrier and they can just merge and do some cross-promotion shit, because, come on, guys. Can't we all be friends? You've got some of the best workers that already have standing associations with some of your top talents. If you merge them, you'd have some amazing content and the crowd would love it. They'd probably even stop shitting on Roman just because you gave him that. But yes, I liked that little sneaky Elite reference. Triple H is always good at doing them little ribs. But then he begins to hype Rousey as the baddest woman on the planet, and that's where you kind of lose me. And then Rousey enters to the shittest theme in WWE history.
Shut up.
Now, I understand that that's the song she came out with in UFC most of the time, but this isn't UFC, and to make a bigger impact, I believe she should have been totally rebranded, given some badass theme, some heavy rock. You know, Shayna Baszler got a mad theme, and she's hectic.
She seems legit.
Yeah.
But Ronda...
Shout out to Shayna Baszler. We love you.
Yeah, Ronda just...
Ronda seems fake.
Yeah.
It's too forced because it's Ronda Rousey. And it's just interesting. Like, they could have given her some badass theme, but instead it's... Like, yeah, it's obviously... It's recognisable, but come on. She needs something a bit more edgy. She can't come out with that smile on her face every time. But from the moment she stepped into that ring, it was just utter chaos. Like I said, we're in a UFC town here for this pay-per-view in the UFC's one of the UFC's trademark arenas now, and they were giving it to her. And this is a wrestling crowd too, so they know this isn't Philly that's just gonna pop. This is a proper everyday wrestling crowd, and they're gonna test your shit. They're gonna see how you go. This is your first time in the ring. So much is expected from you. How are you gonna go on the mic? How are you gonna go cutting a promo? The crowd were booing the crap out of her. Holly Holm chants were there, and
she's getting all nervous.
She's starting to cry. She was starting to cry. She couldn't talk. She was
looking
saying
at Triple H like, help me.
Yeah, but he wasn't helping. He's like, I ain't gonna be there for you every time.
He sort of took over, I
He
guess.
did. He helped. He didn't, because he kind of had to. She was trying to give Kurt props for his career, and because he was a legitimate, Olympic wrestler, blah blah blah, and she's the judo and Olympic judo and all that, whatever.
So they're chanting for Holly Holm.
Yeah.
But then Rousey chants just start up.
Yeah, they found a little section of people in the crowd and got a mic on them quick, and just turned that son-bitch up to make it seem like there was multiple. But we're not dumb monkeys in the truck. We know your little secrets.
Spot monkeys.
We know them. We can tell. We hear that glimpse of the boo before you quickly turn that level down. And we get disappointed. We want to hear the true reactions from the crowd and make them out for ourselves. But no, she had some real trouble on that microphone. She was nervous. I think she was shocked at the fact
the crowd didn't scream and cheer for her the entire time and bow down to her like the queen that she thinks she is. Now listen, I understand what she's done and who she is, but she's coming off as a fight fan as well, not just a wrestling fan. She's coming off two very, very devastating losses in the UFC. And by devastating losses, I mean she got knocked the fuck out twice with ease. Holly Holm schooled her for 2 rounds. Or maybe even 3 rounds, I don't know. It was a while ago. But that was also here in Australia. Shout out to the UFC, thank you very much. And then Amanda Nunes just beat the brakes off her for about a minute and a half. And yet she comes to WWE and she's supposed to be this big badass that is unbeatable. I don't think so. How can you hype someone like that when literally not even a year ago she was almost flatlined? Like, it's just a weird build, and it's all for ratings and popularity.
Triple H just takes over, talking about the contract, asking if she wants any perks or anything like that.
Yes, and she said that no, she didn't want to be treated any differently. She wanted to be the same as everyone else. No special flights, no trips in private jets and cars. She wanted to be like everybody else.
Didn't want to be treated differently.
Kurt Angle appears to be shocked by what is unfolding in front of him. And then as Stephanie and Ronda go to sign the contract, Triple H steps over to Kurt, and they appear to have like a little bit of a heated combo. We didn't really know what was going on. At the time, I was like, oh, is this setting up Triple H versus Kurt Angle? But then, Rousey sees what's happening and asks Kurt if he had something to say. She thought he was knocking her skills. But no, Kurt came out with some zingers. Kurt says he has got nothing to say negatively about Rousey, but he's listening to Triple H and Stephanie sing the praises of Ronda Rousey when he starts telling Ronda that backstage Triple H and Stephanie were working the power plays and they wanted to manipulate Ronda for what she did to them at Mania a couple of years ago. Triple H tries to play it off and say no, and then Kurt says, and I quote, what? He shuts down Triple H and says, what was that you said backstage to me? 3 years in the making and now we own the bitch. But before he could say bitch, because keep in mind, it's still PG, he says bit, and Triple H cuts him off and is like, whoa. Kurt Angle's sick. He's been in the hospital. He's having a flu. We got to get him out of here. But we love you, Ronda. It's okay. And then, so Triple H gets Kurt Angle out of the ring and starts walking him up the ramp. We're left with Stephanie and Rousey in the ring. Rousey doesn't look too impressed. But Stephanie's pleading to her and saying, no, it's okay. We didn't say that. Well, he's just sick. And then she goes to sign that dotted line, and Kurt Angle's got one more zinger. From the ramp, he yells out, what was that, Stephanie? You were saying Ronda's just a has-been and even you can take her now? Well, that did not sit well with Ronda Rousey. Triple H saw the intensity in her eyes from the back of her head and rushed back into the ring to protect his precious wife. And a little intense stare down between Triple H and Stephanie as between Triple H and Rousey. And next thing you know, he's a leaf. She just picks him up with ease and just drops him
through the table, the contract table. So Triple H just gets pumped, and Stephanie thinks it's a smart idea to slap the woman that did it. The crowd immediately chants, "You fucked up," to Stephanie, which I loved. I thought that was hilarious. And all Rousey did was give her a little stare, and Stephanie hit the bricks. She was out. Bailed from that ring.
Yeah, Rousey signs the contract, and
Rousey signs the contract.
that's it.
As Cole puts it, she is now an official problem for Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Obviously, this is setting up a Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus...
They forgot to mention when he's asking about the perks, and Rousey says, "I don't want anything.
I want to earn my respect in this ring.
I want to earn my respect. All I want to do is appear at WrestleMania." And Triple H goes on to tell her that
She's competing at WrestleMania.
Yeah, she's
Not in a
appearing,
title match.
She's competing.
But she's going to compete. And from the end of this angle, I can only believe it is setting up Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Stephanie and Triple H, which to me is total and utter trash. I
guess that's what the mixed match challenge has been about.
aha.
You know what I mean?
I think you're onto something there, my friend.
Trying to get everyone
Hyped about
hyped
female and male teams.
I don't think we have much longer, do we?
No, we don't. We have, but in saying that, we only have the main event to go.
Might just breeze through it.
We got to breeze through this, even though a lot did happen in this match. Braun Strowman, you can't praise this guy enough. And I know my counterpart Lon here has so much to say about Braun Strowman. And I believe I've taken a lot of this podcast, so I know I will get some good information and insight into the love of Braun Strowman from my friend Lon here. So what did you think about the Monster Among Men's fucking incredible performance?
You just said it. Fucking incredible performance. He's a fucking animal machine. He's just improving so much.
Eliminated
to
everyone.
me, he's the only one, like, homegrown WWE talent that I feel is a superstar and is progressing in every way, like, and they're protecting him well, which I like.
I would debate a bit there because he just keeps getting built up to fall short. I don't understand what's happening there. But other than that, yes, I agree. He is fairly protected because even when he loses, he looks strong. But yes, fucking incredible. Eliminates everyone. I want to talk about, because like I said, like we said, we don't have much time left. We don't want to make these podcasts go for too long. But there was a...
Run over who's in the match quickly.
Yes. The match consists of Elias, John Cena, The Miz, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, and Finn Balor. That's right, people. 7. There was 7 people in this Elimination Chamber match.
Pointless 7.
Yeah, it didn't really make any sense.
Elias shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah, he's getting over though.
Yeah,
He's getting over. You got to give it to Elias. He's getting over.
He's a player in the game, but he's just could have had the 6, not the 7.
Yeah, no, you didn't need him there. I agree. He didn't even do anything. He came out and tried to pin everyone because they were all down, and
he played his guitar. He's
hid from Braun.
It's time for him to come out. He stays
in his pod.
Stays in his pod. Waits until everyone's laid out.
comes in, tries to pin them all. They all kick out, and then Braun Strowman eliminates him. Fucking see you later. What? But yeah, there's
Miz was the first one eliminated.
Yes, he
from
was.
the match.
Yes, he was. Braun Strowman.
Who was next?
I believe the second elimination was Cena, was it not?
Miz, and yes, it was.
And that was very interesting to me. I mean, I had no. I did not foresee the conclusion of the match with John Cena as the victor at all, but I was surprised that they got rid of him that early. I thought they'd go Super Cena style and, make it look like he was gonna win because he's big match John and he fucking wins everything. But they didn't. They got him out of there early, and they didn't really make him look that strong in the match either.
Forgot to mention Cena was the first. Or was he the first? Who started off the match?
Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and The Miz.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Elias was the last man to enter the match.
Who was the first to?
The first out of the pod was Roman Reigns. No,
Cena.
was Cena. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was.
Then-
My apologies, listeners.
Then Roman Reigns. No, Braun. Roman was last.
No, Roman was in the
Oh,
match
yeah.
before Braun. It was Roman, then Braun, then Elias.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember Roman Reigns was setting up to spear someone, and then the countdown happened and Braun was coming in because we knew Elias was coming in last, so Braun was second last, and Roman was shocked because he didn't get to do his have his constipation moment. But yeah, from the minute Braun Strowman came into that match, nobody was eliminated, keep in mind, until Braun Strowman got in the match. There were 5 people constantly going at it. There was a lot of action in this match. It was very hard to pinpoint real good spots and this and that, because there were some decent spots in this match. Some good chamber use, pod use. But as soon as Braun came in, it was just total and utter destruction. Eliminates everyone in his path. But I loved the segment. This was before Cena was eliminated. Where they all tried to gang up on him.
Yeah.
And the Shield powerbomb was delivered by Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, who lifted Strowman onto the shoulders of the Superman.
The Superman.
Roman Reigns and John Cena. And all 4 of them drove him down to the mat in a way that would knock any normal human being out cold. But and I thought Strowman was gone. Kicked out. Later on in the match.
And they all piled on top of him, though.
Yeah. And he kicks out. And then later on in the match, he gets hit with everybody's finisher. Kicks out of them all. Totally no-sold John Cena. Shield powerbomb.
Yeah, it was Cena with the AA. It was a
one count.
Yeah.
One count. They did the powerbomb. 2 count. Just explodes out of it. Then Cena hits him with the AA straight away. 1 count. Roman hits him with the spear. There's 2 count. Seth Rollins hits him with the blackout, and he rolls to the outside of the ring, so there was no pinfall there. And then Finn hits him with the coup de grace from the top turnbuckle to the outside.
Yeah.
But no pinfall because the pinfalls don't count outside the ring. So they all went back to fighting each other again.
Cena hits Reigns with an AA.
Yes.
Rollins then interferes, hitting Cena. Seth and Finn take each other out, and everyone's down.
Oh, I also forgot a spot by The Miz.
And that's when Elias comes in and
Yeah.
tries to pin them all.
I liked that before The Miz got eliminated, he lined them all up on the ground, on their knees.
Yeah, Miz was first. Miz was gone pretty much as soon as Braun
Braun
got
came in.
Yeah.
But he had this moment where everyone was on their knees, and the it kicks, or the yes kicks, there's a debate on what they are.
The it kicks.
The it kicks. And he was pointing at each competitor, asking which the crowd would like to be kicked more. Every time he pointed to Roman and Cena, the crowd just erupted. He ended up kicking them all, but I just thought that was a cool little spot. Sorry to backtrack. Like we said, this was a very fast-paced match. There was a lot of action, and we are running out of time on the podcast, so we're trying to breeze through it as quickly as we can.
Yeah, Elias comes in with the pins everyone except for Strowman to 2 counts.
But yes, they all kick out. He then begins to attack everyone, trying to find a way to get a victory over at least one person. But Braun is now back up from all of these assaults. He comes back into the ring and immediately power slams Elias and eliminates Elias. The crowd sings "Na na na na, hey hey, goodbye"
See you later.
to Elias as he leaves the arena, which I thought was pretty funny. They all try going at Strowman again, but he survives because he's a beast. Cena goes for some sort of top rope maneuver, but
Crossbody.
yes,
It was.
but Strowman caught him, hit him with the power slam, and eliminated Cena. So sorry, Cena was the third person eliminated, not second, because Elias was eliminated before Cena.
That's right.
Sorry, guys. 4 people remain now. We've got Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman.
Staring at each other.
Yeah, the trademark.
There's 4 of us left. Let's just look at
cutscene.
each other.
You know, when you're playing 2K in the middle of the Royal Rumble, you're beating someone up, someone gets eliminated, and all of a sudden you're just standing in the center of the ring looking at everyone.
Braun asked him.
Who wants these hands? No one. No one wanted them hands, but everyone got them. Strowman takes out Seth Rollins first, and then he faced off with Finn Balor. Good sequences from Balor in this particular part. This was his strongest part of the match yet, I believe. Just keeps going at Braun with his fast pace.
He turns the reins.
Yes, because he
Sets him up for the double foot stomp.
yes, well Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, they double team, I believe. Do they not?
Kind of.
Oh no, sorry. Balor hit Strowman with the coup de grace, but he kicked out, and then Rollins and Balor began facing off, and Balor scored a near fall on Seth Rollins. Then faced off with Roman Reigns, and hits him with the coup de grace, and at this moment I was fucking ecstatic because I thought Finn Balor was about to eliminate Roman Reigns, and they were going to chuck a curveball at me. But no, just as he was going to make the pinfall from behind, here comes Strowman. Hits him with a power slam, and it is all over for Finn Balor. Eliminated.
Strowman's eliminated everyone so far.
Everyone so far. It's down to Reigns, Rollins against Strowman. They try to double up against him again, attacking him outside and smashing him into the chamber, which was the biggest use of the chamber in the match yet. Just continuously smashing him against it. They both... Oh yes, Seth then turned on Reigns, and they trade their offense and signature moves up to the point where they both knock each other down, and Strowman gets straight back to his feet. Seth tries to climb the chamber away from Braun. Braun follows, as does Roman, and he Samoan drops Braun from the chamber walls, which was
onto the floor.
Which was a pretty decent spot for a big guy like Braun to take. That's a big bump. That's after getting pumped the amount that he already has in this match. Like, I can't sing his praises enough in this match. That he took so much offense from everyone else.
He takes the Samoan drop, rolls into the ring, and then is met by Rollins, who's on top of the pod still. A massive friggin'
Frog splash from the top.
Yeah.
And he kicks out. He fucking kicks out.
Kicks out, pretty much gets up and just picks up Seth, power slam, 1, 2, 3.
It's over. And then it's down to Strowman and Reigns. And if you're a constant watcher of WWE programming, I'm pretty sure you know what happens next. They battle outside the ring. Roman sends Braun Strowman into the chamber walls again. Strowman appears to be fine because he's a machine. And it looks like he's setting Roman up for the old-fashioned Goldberg spot through the pod. And as he's running it, Reigns, Roman sidesteps him and Strowman sends himself through the pod, which we kind of could guess was coming. Because, hey, Roman doesn't lose. You know, Roman ain't going to take some damage.
Braun's still just gets back up.
Immediately. But then he gets hit with a Superman punch on the outside that sends him back into the ring. Roman enters the ring immediately and the crowd just start booing the shit out of him because they know what's going on. Roman hits him with another Superman punch that sends him to his knees. Roman sets up the spear, but Strowman counters, thinking maybe there's hope, but no, just gets hit with another Superman punch and then 2 spears to end the match. Reigns pins Braun Strowman, gets the victory, and goes to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar again. And just while I was sitting in my chair... Again! Just as I was sitting in my chair, pissed off at the fact that Roman had just punched his ticket to WrestleMania again, there was a bit of light at the end of my tunnel. Because Braun Strowman, the beast that he is, was back to his feet. And he power slammed Roman Reigns, was it twice or 3 times, before he sent him crashing through the pod.
I think he gave him 1. They chanted for 1 more time, the crowd.
And then he gave it to him.
Delivers another one. And then I think he picked him up and...
Yep, took him outside and sent him through the pod.
Yeah, sent him through the pod.
The crowd was going off. They loved him. Big cheers for Braun the entire night. Definitely by far the star of the entire pay-per-view. All in all, the main event match was a good match, but ruined by Roman Reigns winning because it was too predictable. How many Lance stars does the main event get? How many stars are we closing out this podcast with, my friend?
It's closing with a 4.
Ooh, that's our biggest rating of the night, is it not?
Yeah, it is.
There we go. See, the main event delivered. But please, something needs to be done about this Roman situation. You've got to find a way to get us interested about this main event, because as far as I'm concerned, we have seen this match already. So, but I have a sneaking suspicion that Brock is dropping this title at Mania, and he could be going back to the UFC, because, get ready, while the Elimination Chamber was happening, Dana White himself posted a photo with the Beast Brock Lesnar. So that only stirs speculation for what is coming next for Brock Lesnar. But that's for another podcast. I was going to touch on some UFC, but not anymore. That can be left for a later date. So I guess it is time for us to say goodbye. Thank you very much for tuning in. We apologize if this was a bit shaky here and there. This is our first ever podcast, but it is our first of many to come, because we will learn, we will grow, and hopefully you will be there to experience the journey with us. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you can be notified when the greatest wrestling and fight podcast of all time
post something new.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We are Mike and Lon. This is Wrestle Report Australia. Until next time, doses.